Hello crafty friends, it's Vicki Boutin here at Scrapbook.com for American crafts, and I am going to show you a couple of layouts applying a whole bunch of fun magic with acrylic paints, color pop paints from the Vicki Boutin line. And I'm really super excited to get started. Super excited. So let me show you the layout. I have my color palette chosen, and I'm going to show you the page that I created. This is my mom and my two kids, and they are very close and near and dear to my heart. And I wanted to make a special page to kind of commemorate that relationship and the relationship these two wonderful children have with my super awesome mother. The magic here with this page is it was not hard to create. We're going to do dry brush technique that created this background, so I didn't have to choose a pattern paper. I've stamped images that I didn't even put pigment on because I find that the black and white on top of it was really beautiful, and just a couple of strips of pattern paper, some washi, some ephemera, and the page was done. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to apply the dry brush technique with color pop paints to your background. So I have a sheet of foundations paper. This is comes in a paper pad, and it is 140 pound weight. So extra heavy, smooth white paper that's great for holding wet mixed media mediums. So I'm going to get started, and we're going to do dry brush technique. I find a flat brush works best for dry brush technique because you want to be able to spread the paint out. And normally for some of these techniques, I'll put the paint off site and then bring it on to my background. For this one, I'm going to do it this time right on the page. So we're going to put less is more. I can always add, but I can't take away. So we do not want a ton of paint. And I'm going to tell you, this is harder than this for me. So I'm going to move it, even though my page is going to be in the other direction when it's finished. I find that this is easier to do in the dry brush technique. So it is just straight line back and forth application of paint. So if it is, maybe it's easier for you to do it this way. Give it a try, whatever. It's okay. Move your work surface, not your body. Make it comfortable so when you're adding that on here. I love this. So there's no water on this brush. We're just going in with a dry technique. I could also put a little bit on the background. I have just a sheet of acrylic down here. If I want to load my brush and I want to actually place where the paint's going to go. So let's try it loading the brush. But do you notice I'm taking most of the paint off because I want this to be a rather dry technique. Like every mixed media technique, it's layer, layer, layer. You want to practice and play and try different things. So if it doesn't work out the first time, give yourself permission to use that for a different project, your background that you think wasn't as successful, and then just do it again. Because these are beautiful. So say you took this and maybe you got a little heavy-handed and you don't like the paint application. It is a perfect opportunity to stamp on top of it or run it through your silhouette or your Cuttlebug or your Cricut or any die cutting machine, or even stamp and die cut. It's like a pre-made background. So do not throw those away. They're just opportunities for embellishment. So I'm happy with that color application. So I have the Blue Hawaiian, which is a turquoisey color. I'm going to go in with a daiquiri ice, which used to be my favorite ice cream flavor at Baskin Robbins. I loved it. It does not exist because my family always makes fun. If I love something at any restaurant, it will be discontinued. So let's go in and do that. Oh, look how pretty that is. So you really could do this all with blues if you wanted to. You could, whatever color palette you want to use. So that is your next layer. This looks beautiful. You could do in blacks and neutrals and grays. You could put layer like polka dot stencil and put stencil brush through with the same color of paint. You have to test that because these are rather opaque as opposed to like a watercolor. So I don't know if you could get the depth, but maybe texture. You could build some of the texture. These are super thick too, so sometimes you just got to work the paint down to the end. And remember, less is more. Don't put tons of paint on with this technique, because then you are going to find that you might not be able to get the dry brush effect without when you have too much paint on there. But look that was easy. You could use any color palette you want. That's done. That background is done. When I'm sitting and playing, I could do like 6 of these in different color fashions. I could go in with another color like this and make a grid background or kind of like a tartan look. You could do whatever you want because there are 0 rules in the crafting. Make what makes you happy. So I have this background I shared with you. 2 strips of pattern paper, a mat for the background, a mat for under my photo, some foam squares, added some of these awesome thickers with my handwriting. These ones are in my Vicki Boutin handwriting. And then you have 2 ephemera packs that you can choose from in the field notes. One is icons, then you have all of your titles and frames. So the whole idea here is I have the strips. When I came up with a plan for how I would lay this project out, I don't want to cover all of it. So I made sure the pattern was more in the center and I could see both sides of the color represented. You can flip it around. You could use this horizontally, vertically, whatever you want to do. If you want to bring it to the next level and add a little bit more in the background, I could have stamped on the background with the color wheel stamps and some tone-on-tone stamping, whatever you want to do, but super simple, fast, awesome mixed media background for a scrapbook page using acrylic paints, the Vicki Boutin ColourPop paints. So give it a try. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more from Scrapbook.com, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a message. Happy crafting!